we're kind of young and partying. And then to think of that guy who's now this big
guy.
hotshot director, it's so funny.
My buildings were devised to endure such erosion of shoreline.
This movie shows us the power of architecture, how architecture can survive wars, it can endure over time, it can touch you deeply. It's a testimony about what others have lived through, just like cinema. While I was watching the movie, I was thinking about architecture and cinema at the same time. And after acting in The Brutalist, how did your perception of art, of creating art, changed?
Wow, it's amazing how singular you have to be. How you have to have such commitment to your vision, because there'll be so many people along the way who'll try and knock you off the path, and you just have to be absolutely resolute. To put something into the world that is going to be surprising and emotional and affecting in some way, it often means that person behind it has to guard their ideas very, very closely. I think we're so fortunate to have been part of his and Mona's vision, really, that they stood by what they had written and have stood by it all the way through to now.
And hard for them as the creators, it's one thing for us as actors to sort of come into something and try and offer up our perspective or our ideas or thoughts or whatever. But usually I think we're adhering to a script that's already been created. So I think the work, as you say, that Brady has had to do, and other artists and architects to kind of stand by their beliefs and make the thing that they need to make. Yeah, it's surprising that anything gets made, really, whether it's a film or a building.
You both already kind of answered my next question, because you already talked about Brady Corbett and Mona Fastwold, which are a huge duo. They had to overcome a lot of challenges, like the budget. They did this with $10 million, which is like, it blows my mind. The insurance didn't want to work with them at the beginning and things like that. I want you to tell me about that advice or that take, something that you did with Brady Corbett that you are gonna remember him forever when you do other movies. Like, he taught me that, and I want to thank him for that.
Well, for me, it's just his confidence in himself, his belief in himself. And it's one of the things that I remember about Curtis Hanson when we did LA Confidential as well, that no one was going to rush him at all. They could try, but they weren't going to. And Brady, I think, he has a singular vision and he knows what it is he wants to make, but he's equally as open. And he presented to us constantly this idea of being open, and if we had any ideas or anything we wanted to do, he was welcoming to it. I'm sure if we went off the path too much, he would go, no, that's not where we're going. We're back here. But it's just his sense of confidence, I think, is something that I will treasure. And he's a big-hearted, beautiful man. He's lovely.
I like the way that he makes sure that you have everything you need to prepare, and then that before set, he's very clear that he kind of wants it figured out. He doesn't want to be tinkering around too much on the day, trying too many things out, because he knows that he's going to be pressured for time and he wants to get the shots that he wants. And I think there's something in that that's always good to remember as an actor, is it's all in the preparation, and to be good to go the moment you get to set.
Mm.
Yeah, I knew him a lot of years ago for the Thunderbirds. He's acting there. I cannot believe that he became this amazing director. It's like, you don't know where life is gonna take you, right?
I know. Well, I met Brady when we met through a mutual friend when we were in our 20s. And I remember we were chatting and we all went to a bar, and then we went to this hotel, and then, we're kind of young and partying. And then to think of that guy who's now this big
guy.
hotshot director is so funny.
My last question is about Adrien Brody, really quickly, because you both have amazing scenes with him, very tough one also. You have to yell at him. You both have big conversations with him. And I wanted to ask you about your best memory with Adrien Brody.
Well, Adrien is just unflinching in terms of getting out what a scene needs, and he's not afraid to push, and he will do whatever it takes. And he has a very good sense of when something truthful is happening. And when that's happening, you're not sort of conscious as it's happening, something is overtaking you. He's just unflinching in the pursuit of a truthful interaction on screen.
He's such a great actor. He really carries his vulnerability and his strength kind of really presently all the time. As you say, unflinching. He's just willing to be whatever the scene requires him to be. So he's really dedicated and just so good. Yeah, a little intimidating, to be honest.